Imagine holding something in your hands that weighs more than it should, not because it's poorly designed, but because it carries gravity. The plastic is thick and warm. The buttons have travel, real distance between pressed and unpressed. When you flip a switch, you don't tap glass. You move a physical lever that completes a circuit with a satisfying click, reverberating through your fingertips. This isn't nostalgia for outdated gadgets. This is about the moment when technology still required your body to participate, when machines had presence, and when the relationship between human and object felt like conversation rather than command. Today, we are examining what neuroscientists call haptic memory, the way physical interaction with technology created a bond that touch screens can never replicate. The first thing you notice about 80s technology is the weight of permanence. Pick up a telephone from 1985. It's heavy, not awkwardly heavy, but substantial. The handset has heft. The coiled cord has tension. When you slam it down to end a call, the entire base reverberates. The sound, that sharp clack, gives you closure. Modern phones disappear when you're done. You tap a red circle and the conversation evaporates. No physical punctuation mark. The heaviness of 80s tech wasn't inefficiency. It was presence. These objects occupied space in your world. When you owned a boom box, you knew you owned it. It sat on your shoulder, pulled at your muscles, announced itself. Consider the ritual of preparation. You want to record a song off the radio in 1987. You find a blank cassette, inspect the protective tabs, load it into the deck with a satisfying click. You press record and play simultaneously, a two-handed operation. Then you wait. You sit by the radio, finger hovering over pause, listening through commercials until the song begins. When it plays, you're fully present. Every second matters because the tape is finite. This created invested attention. Because the technology required effort, the result felt earned. The song wasn't just data, it was a trophy. Think about the language of mechanical feedback. When you press a key on an 80s keyboard, it doesn't just register, it talks back. The key travels down with resistance, bottoms out with a tactile bump, springs back up. Your fingers learn to read this conversation. Fast typists listen to the rhythm, feel the cadence. This is proprioceptive learning. Your body develops muscle memory because the machine gives constant feedback. Touch a modern keyboard and your fingers find flat glass. You tap and something happens inside the device, but your body learns nothing. We must examine the aesthetic of exposure. Flip over an 80s remote, and you see a battery compartment with a sliding door. Open it, and you see batteries in their cradle, connected by visible metal contacts. You understand how it works. The mechanics aren't hidden behind glue and tamper-proof screws. If it stops working, you open it, check connections, replace batteries. This transparency created mechanical literacy. You learned how things functioned because technology invited inspection. Modern devices are sealed black boxes. When they fail, you replace them. The imperfection as signature. Your cassette player develops a quirk. The play button sticks slightly, requiring a specific angle. The fast forward makes a particular whirring sound that tells you exactly how much tape has passed. These aren't flaws, they're fingerprints. Your device becomes distinguishable from every other identical model because of how it ages with you. The object evolves. It gains character. Modern tech is designed for uniformity. Every iPhone behaves identically. When one breaks, you replace it with an exact clone. Nothing is lost because nothing was unique. The solitude of single function. An 80s alarm clock does one thing. It wakes you up. It sits on your nightstand with glowing red numbers. Two buttons, set time and set alarm. That's the entire interface. Because it only does one job, it becomes excellent at that job. More importantly, it doesn't tempt you. You can't check email on it. You can't scroll feeds. When you look at it, you see the time, nothing else. Single-function devices created boundaries. Your alarm clock lived in the bedroom. Your television lived in the living room. Each object stayed in its lane, giving your spaces clear purposes. The unambiguous off switch. Every 80s device has a power switch you can see and feel. It's physical. It's definitive. When you flip it, the machine goes dark immediately. No shutdown sequence. No, are you sure? The relationship is clear. When you're done, you're done. Modern technology never truly turns off. It sleeps, it updates, it listens. You're never certain if the device is truly inactive or quietly working in the background. The machine is always a little bit on, and so are you. Finally, consider the democracy of repair. When your VCR breaks, you don't need specialized tools or proprietary software. You need a screwdriver and patience. You can open it, inspect the belts, clean the heads, put it back together. Repair shops exist in every neighborhood because the technology is designed to be serviced. You weren't dependent on the manufacturer. Modern devices are engineered against repair. Batteries are glued in. Cases are sealed. Software locks prevent third-party fixes. When something breaks, you're forced back to the company store. The 80s wasn't a better era for technology. The devices were slower, bulkier, more limited. But they were also more honest. They required your participation. They aged visibly. They could be understood, repaired, and genuinely owned. They had friction, and that friction created relationship. Modern technology is frictionless, and in removing every obstacle, we've also removed every opportunity for connection. If you remember the satisfying chunk of a cassette deck closing, the warmth of a CRT screen, or the specific resistance of a mechanical switch, join us by hitting like and subscribing. Leave a comment. What was the one piece of 80s technology that felt truly yours? The future is seamless, but seamlessness has a cost. The 80s understood that the bumps and quirks weren't bugs. They were where the magic lived.